What's going on, everyone? It's Mitch with SC Weather. Hope y'all are having a great Friday. I got y'all an update on the weather. In today's video, we're probably going to talk mostly about how long is this pattern change when it occurs Monday into Tuesday. How long is the cold air going to stick around? Is it something that's just going to happen, temporarily here in the southeast, here in South Carolina, or is it going to stay a while? And my confidence is beginning to build that it's going to stay a while somewhat. Now, I'm not saying we're going to be in highs in the 40s for days on end, but I do think there's potential on down the road, and I'm going to show y'all for this cold air to be reinforced. And I'm going to show you why I think that here in this video. So, as always, guys, if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, and I'm going to keep y'all updated here in the weather in the southeast and South Carolina. I live here in South Carolina. And this is the main area I talk about, but I also love talking weather in the whole southeast area. So let's get going into this. So as we've been talking about for multiple days here, there's a storm system's going to ride up, and we're not really going to hone in on that much this video. I'm going to get detailed on that tomorrow and potential severe weather threats that may end up unfolding here in the southeast. But check it out here. We got a couple more warm days. It's a beautiful day in South Carolina, guys. There's a little bit of dry air that's working in, and I'm telling you, this is probably one of the better days. You got dew points in the 40s, highs around 70. Beautiful day out there. Beautiful late November day here in South Carolina. But check it out here. We get overnight Sunday. It's only 2 days away, so get overnight Sunday into Monday. Now, you see it says Monday 12Z, so that's Monday morning. Essentially. We get into the afternoon of Monday. If you notice, normally 18Z, when you see that, that represents high temperatures most of the time. So you got high temperatures that occur in the morning for places in South and Middle Georgia, South Carolina, Eastern North Carolina. So Columbia, your high temperature may occur Monday morning. And then as the front blasts through and the cold air falls behind it, it might be one of these rare occasions. And you don't see this often in the southeast, especially in the Carolinas and places like Georgia. You see this pretty often, especially in Tennessee, maybe Mississippi, parts of Alabama, definitely Arkansas. You see where you can get these events where the temps crash during the day when a cold front pushes through. But it's not often you see it in the Carolinas. But this is going to happen Monday. It's not going to be some crazy crash, but you're going to go from the 60s to the 50s to probably to maybe the 40s by the time y'all are heading home Monday night. And then check out the temperatures. You wake up with temperatures well below freezing, and the whole entire state of Tennessee. Potential snow falling in parts of Tennessee, Alabama. The cold air is really centered right here. This is where the coldest air is going to be centered kind of in the mid-south, if you will. Some people don't like using that term, but it's going to be kind of centered over this area right here. But still, check out this high temperature in Columbia, 45 degrees, 41 high temperature potentially in Charlotte. Greenville, Spartanburg area, maybe around 40 degrees. Atlanta around 40 degrees. Birmingham around 40 degrees. 39 Huntsville. The whole entire mountains of Tennessee and North Carolina are below freezing. Sorry if y'all hear that noise in the background. That is my dryer ending. So, and what's even more impressive, if you look in the panhandle of Florida, Jacksonville, potentially high only being 48 degrees. You know, that might be a couple degrees lower than really what may occur, but you get the point. Tuesday, the first day of December, is going to feel like December and some. So we really drop off, and the core of the cold air shifts a little bit more east. So we get well below freezing. The whole state of Georgia, basically the whole state, just about South Carolina, North Carolina. Another cold day for next Wednesday. Highs in the 40s for a big chunk of the southeast. You start to lose this cool air as you start to warm up a little bit back in the western areas of the southeast. But maybe the coldest night now may be looking like for portions of South Carolina, North Carolina, maybe looking like Thursday morning, Wednesday night and Thursday morning. We're going to watch that. And as we go on through here, what we're going to do here is we're going to look at the latest GFS. So we're going to talk about this here, and I'm not going to get too technical on you and everything like that, but if you're looking here, we're getting into Monday. Basically, here's that cold front. You see this down here, and it might be hard to see, but you see the greens, the blues, I don't know what you want to call that, the purplish grayish. That is basically your cold front pushing through. But check out how it's connected to the north here, to the Arctic. There's not much connection. So that pretty much tells me that this blast of cold air is going to be kind of temporarily. It's going to pack a punch, but it's going to be temporary for sure. But definitely some big time, and these are basically temperature anomalies. So temperatures compared to average at this time of the year. So if you look at, and this is high temperatures for December 1st, check out the core of the coldest air is right over South Carolina, Georgia, North Carolina, the mountains, portions of eastern Tennessee, things like that. But you look up here and it's warmer than average in Canada. There's some blocking up here. So you're not really getting a great connection from the Arctic air mass here up in Canada and just the Arctic or anything. So when that happens, this just kind of slips out of here pretty fast. Now, it doesn't warm really back up much. Maybe slightly above average as we get into the late week. But basically, you get another push of colder than average temperatures. And this is the GFS, by the way. We're off the Euro. As we get into next weekend. And this might be associated with a system that might bring more snow to the mountains. And we'll talk about that as we get closer. But check it out, the connection to the Arctic. There is none. You got this blocking positive up here, right here, that's just not allowing anything. Positive PNA. So there's not much a connection. It's a good pattern, but it's not a great pattern. So as we're going through, this gets on out of here. We might start to get above average again. But this is, and by the way, this is 252 hours out. So we're getting really kind of in la-la land, if you will, fantasy land. But what I'm watching here, and it showed up the last few GFS runs, is another blast comes through. Maybe as we start to get to the December 10th range, and it gets below average again. But this has more of a connection to the Arctic. So there is no crazy blocking in Canada, no El Nino look really, if you will. And, you know, you keep going, you stay below average in the southeast, and then you get another core, and this is what I'm watching right here, and this is so far out it doesn't even matter. But what I'm seeing is reinforcing shots of cold air. It's hard to get sustained cold air in the southeast. The southeast ridge is a dominant pattern, and it is just very hard to get for sure, but it's something that we got to watch. Now, these are what the temperatures look like compared to what you just saw. This is the GFS. Now, we're getting into Monday, and check it out. There's those cold temperatures in the southeast. Below freezing, getting into late week, this coming week. It's a cool week. You get another system that kind of rides up here that might turn to a cutter that might deliver another severe weather threat. Depends on where that low tracks. If there's a system here, the low might track northwest of us again, like this one system's about to. But after that moves through, you got some more cold air. And this has some more roots from the Arctic, from Canada. So it might be a little bit colder. But I guess what I'm trying to say is it doesn't look like we're going to get really any well above average temperatures for the foreseeable future. It might get downright cold for the first week or so of December. And it's definitely going to feel like winter. And, you know, we get deep into the run, and there's that big push of potential cold air that really wants to try to push. Even up in the upper Midwest, it hasn't got, like, ridiculously cold yet. They haven't had, like, a major Arctic outbreak, and it's still early in the year. But check out something's brewing at the end of the run. It's 384 hours out. This goes all the way out to about mid-December. So it's very inaccurate, but it's just something we need to watch. As far as storm systems, there's nothing really linking up with the cold air. Here comes our storm system for this coming week. for Sunday night to Monday that brings a lot of rain. We'll get more specifics on that probably tomorrow. Cold air blast through a good northwest flow event in the mountains that brings a lot of snow. Here comes another event that I was hoping had some better legs on it, to maybe produce some winter weather in areas outside the mountains, but it does not look like it's going to happen. There's just marginal cold air that's just not working with a whole lot. And it's going to kind of, low pressure is probably going to ride north of us, and it actually might turn into another event kind of like this first storm that's going to go through, where you get some northwest flow snow. So in the mountains, I really, for natural snow and just for the ski resorts up there, they're going to have a really successful week coming up for snowmaking. I'll tell you that. That moves through, and after that, it gets kind of quiet after you get past the first week of December. But we're going to watch. Here comes another system right here that brings more snow to the mountains, but this one's closer. And this is 288 hours out on the GFS. Very inaccurate. I'm going to say that 100 times this winter. Please don't take my words so set in stone. When I mention long range, I mentioned that it could be very inaccurate. So here's another push of cold air as we're getting into the long range of the GFS, and there's moisture around, so you kind of have to watch that. And you get another reinforcement shot. This is almost like a freaking clipper right here that gets going. But this is a deep shot of cold air right there, and then it's on out of here. So you look at the Euro. So we just looked at the Euro in the beginning of the video. We're going to get past this event. What does the Euro show for the same thing? So as we get into a week out from today, after we've dealt with our first Arctic blast, our coldest air of the season, let's see if we can get some more cold air. So these are hot. High 52, 43 in the Greenville area for Friday potentially. Here comes our storm system. Where do we get trapped in that warm sector in portions of the southeast? And check out the cold air on top. But here comes another system that blasts through that really puts us below average temperature-wise. Again, some really chilly temperatures. But how cold is that air? We don't know. It doesn't look super impressively cold, but it looks chilly. So is there any systems on the European model? Well, no, not really. It's kind of the same as the GFS. I'll tell you what, the European has gotten a little bit more impressive on that snow in eastern parts of the Tennessee, so we need to watch that. But here comes that second wave, and just not a great low track. It looks like it's going to cut through the entire state of South Carolina and Georgia and move through, but check out the back end snow. But as you get later into the run, looks like some colder air might dive in, but it's still not looking that impressive. So I guess to answer the question, I do think it's going to be a chilly first half of December. I think it's shaping up to be. I think we'll have a couple warm days as in days in the 60s across the southeast. But it looks pretty chilly, especially areas out in maybe as you get into Alabama, Mississippi, and things like that. Maybe a little bit more chillier than areas in, say, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. But I'm going to continue to watch that. That's pretty much it with this video update, guys. I hope y'all have a great start to your weekend, and y'all stay safe out there.